Hi, everyone. Welcome to another segment on Chapter 1. In this segment, we're going to discuss the law of increasing opportunity costs. Now, you'll recall when we mentioned opportunity costs in its simplest form, we said it's basically the next best thing you give up when you make a choice to do or have something else. Well, when we're talking about production of outputs in an economy, we're basically saying as we produce more and more of a specific output, we give up increasing amounts of another output. That's the law of increasing costs. So let's have a look at the slide and make a little bit more sense of this. So the reason that they're increasing costs, the reason for the law of increasing costs is because factors of production are not equally substitutable. And I want to write something else here to make this a little bit more clearly. Not equally substitutable to produce just any type of product. So the factors of production are not equally suitable to produce just any type of product. And a good example is, let's say we're doing, we've got wheat fields and we've got car assembly lines. So we're producing wheat and producing cars. And let's just say it takes 100 people, 100 workers to produce 100 cars, for example. Now, if we want to produce another 100 cars, we need another 100 people. Well, that's if they've got the skills to produce cars, but everybody's fully employed. So there are no employees to go look for, no potential employees. So we go to the wheat fields and we have to take 100 wheat farmers and try and get them to do car production. And they can, they're just not as skilled. So likely we're going to have to take 125 or 150 wheat farmers, take them over into car manufacturing so we can produce that extra 100 cars we're looking for. But because we had to take more than just 100 wheat field workers, we're giving up increasing amounts of wheat as we produce more and more cars because we take those extra workers away from the wheat fields. So hopefully that helps kind of explain that this second point here, as output increases, the per unit costs of additional units increase. So when we want that extra 100 cars, there's no extra 100 potential car employees out there because everybody's fully employed in our model. So we have to go take workers from wheat fields. And we need more than just 100 workers from wheat fields because they're not equally skilled or trained equally as the car producers are. So we end up giving increasing amounts of wheat up to produce more and more cars because we have to take away increasing amount of wheat producers, wheat workers in the fields to put them on the assembly line in car production. So this gives the production possibility its bowed out shape. We're going to go take a look at that in the next slide and try and explain it just a little bit further. So you see what we've got here. On the one axis, again, we've got our wheat, and on the other axis, we've got our car production. And we're just going to look at points B, C, D, and E and just see how, as more cars are produced, an increasing amount of wheat must be given up. And remember, that's because factors of production are not equally substitutable between wheat and car production. So we start at point B, and we're going to go to point C. So let's have a look at this. At point B, we've got 95 wheat and 50 cars. And at point C, we've got 90 cars. So we're gaining 40 cars, but we're giving up from 95 down to 85, we're giving up 10 wheat. And they put the numbers here for us again. So from going from point B to C, we're gaining 40 cars, but giving up 10 wheat. Then going from C to D, we're gaining 30 cars only and giving up 20 wheat. And then going from D to E, we're gaining 20 cars, but giving up 25 wheat. So in each case, we have to give up increasing amounts of wheat for the extra car production. Let me clear this and just state it again. From B to C, we're gaining 40 cars, but giving up 10 wheat. And then from C to D, we're gaining only 30 cars, but giving up 20 wheat. And then from D to E, we're gaining only 20 cars, the smallest amount of cars, but giving up 25 wheat, the highest amount of wheat. So that shows that as more cars are produced, we're giving up an increasing amount of wheat. Let's look at a quick example to kind of explain this. The first point here says, if society produces 100 or 1,000 units of butter, how many guns? Well, we know we've got guns and butter. So let's look at 1,000 units of butter right here. And our production possibility curve says we can go up, and the maximum amount of guns we can produce is 400. Let's see if we've got that correct. Yep, 400 units of guns. Okay, now it says if society's at point B, what is the cost of 1,000 more units of butter? So we're at point B, which you've seen where that is, 1,000 units of butter. And we want to produce 1,000 more units. So basically, we want to add 1,000 butter to take us to 2,000. Well, luckily, that's still on the production possibility curve. So we go up to point C and we come back, and that means we can only produce 300 guns. The maximum amount of butter and guns we can produce, the combination is 2,000 butter down here and 300 guns. So to get the extra 1,000 butter, we give up 100 guns. Let's just see if that's the correct answer. Yep, 100 units of guns are given up. So let's look at the next question. It says, is the opportunity cost greater for moving from C to D, than it was in the move from B to C? Well, we know from B to C, we gave up 100 guns. So from C to D, let's kind of work through this. C is right here, and D is over here. We go from 2,000 to 3,000. So we're adding another 1,000 butter. But in this case, we go from 300 guns down to 150 guns. So we're giving up 150. Butter. So let's go back and check the answer. So therefore, we've increased our opportunity cost. Yep, from B to C, we give up 100 guns to get those 1,000 units of butter. And from C to D, we give up 150 guns to get those extra 1,000 units of butter. Therefore, it's a greater opportunity cost. But we pause for a second because I want to say we know that. Because the way we explained it, we said to get more and more of one unit, we give up increasing amounts of the other. And that explains why we've got this curved shape to all our production possibility curves that look like this. So we knew ahead of time that, of course, moving from C to D was greater opportunity cost than moving from B to C. In our next segment, we're going to take a look at this production possibility curve and see how we would show economic growth or a potential increase in output of everything, as well as how technological change affects the production possibility curve too. So we'll see you when we get there.